Welcome to the Business Over Beer Happy Hour, a daily dose of support for business owners, entrepreneurs, and people passionate about what they do. Hosted by Ben Surratt, Jonathan Kaler, and Jason Knope, it's time to grab a beer, enjoy some cheer, and join together.
All right, everybody. Hey, it's Monday. I'm happy that it's Monday because I am looking in front of me. There are some beautiful people in front of me. However, there's only one person I want to hear from right now. And I'm staring at him. And his hair is respectable, as usual. Some people call him a space cowboy. No. I call him Spartacus. He is the terror of power himself, Jonathan Kaler. Happy Monday, Jonathan.
Happy Monday, Ben. Welcome to Happy Hour. I'm so excited to start drinking.
Yes.
Yeah, my hair is definitely respectable today. It even survived a walk around the neighborhood with a little breeze. I was a little nervous that it was going to kind of blow up on me, but it didn't. It's hanging tough. So, and speaking of hanging tough, we got the gangster of Hazeldale is with us. The gift that keeps on giving. I don't know if you're down with him, but I am most certainly down with the KNOPP. Jason Knope.
Yeah, you know me.
Happy hour, my friend. How you feeling tonight, buddy?
I feel like I should ask the new kids on the block hanging tough for you when you say that.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh.
You knew that.
We got it, man. We are in it to win it.
Yes, sir.
And we haven't even introduced our awesome guest yet.
Do we have a guest today?
We do. She's right down there.
Oh.
No, she's not. She's up there.
Oh.
No, she's right here.
Oh.
Caitlin Wilson of In Light Hypebarics. Welcome to the Happy Hour. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me today.
You are sure welcome. My God, do you look happy and relaxed? Man, where are you calling in from?
It's the sunshine, you know. I am out in Goldendale, Washington today. Well, I have been for the last 2 weeks.
That is fantastic. Of course, you're a wonderful downtown Vancouver businesswoman.
Yep.
We are excited to find out about hyperbaric oxygen and all of the wonderful things that you do at In Light. So let's start there.
Okay.
Give us the 50,000-foot view of your business and what you're into.
It's a loaded, there's a lot to it. So I'm co-owner of In Light Hypebarics. We are located in downtown Vancouver, Washington, like you said. And basically, it's been an organic evolution of sorts, really just promoting natural healing and helping to support the body to heal itself through different healing modalities. I guess it was about going on 7 years ago, my business partner and I started with just doing infrared light therapy. So using light therapy to heal the body naturally, and it's grown into a full location. So we've got hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and we started with just mild hyperbarics, and we've upgraded to do regular hyperbarics, so different pressures, allows us to dose the oxygen levels, and we've added a naturopathic doctor. So we have a doctor that's on site pretty much all the time, and she does IV medicine. And we've also added in a sound healer. We have whole body vibration and mental health counselors as well. So,
Man, so you're a one-stop shop for
kinda, yeah.
For health and wellness, man. That is fantastic. I didn't know you had all those things directly on site there. That's great.
It's fun. It's crazy fun.
So what is your background? Do you have a medical background or any kind of training in mental health, or what? How did you end up landing in this line of work?
Just experience and a whole lot of passion. So where it started for me was actually, it was about 2 weeks before high school graduation. So back in 2004, when I was graduating high school, I got really, really sick. And I was always really healthy leading up to that. And I actually had what the doctors think was mono for the second time. So I got hit really hard. And that was just kind of like my first experience dealing with the fact that, you know, doctors couldn't do anything for me. It was a struggle. It was scary. It was kind of a mystery for a while. I was so sick, they thought I had leukemia. So
oh my gosh.
for all things. It tested me for hepatitis, leukemia, other blood cancers. Everything did come back negative, but during all that, it was just kind of like, you know, we didn't know. And so got through high school graduation, and I did not go off to college as planned. I look at it today as like a blessing in disguise. Life would have been a lot different. And so I started to go down the road of natural healing, and my business partner today is who introduced me to naturopathic medicine at that point. And so I got into holistic remedies, changing my diet around, and really started to get really passionate about it because that's what was helping me. So eliminating a lot of things that caused inflammation and a weakened immune system, and really just focusing on nourishment, nutrients, helping the body to heal naturally. And from there, I did go on to study holistic nutritional therapy, which I became really passionate about. And I did not ever really jump into that side of it professionally, but I did use it for personal growth and healing. And then I was a nanny for a long time, and I used it when I was a nanny. So it was just kind of like an introduction into it. And it's just kind of been evolving ever since. From there, I did a lot of other things. I traveled, had different various jobs. I worked for BNI Regional for a good 5 years and learned about business. And so being able to take natural healing, my passion for that, tie it in with a ton of years of experience learning about business and people and development, bringing that together. And that's kind of how In Light Hypebarics was born. So
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. Well, you said that things might have been different if you'd gone to college. So here you are, you're a successful entrepreneur in the wonderful city of Vancouver. If you'd have gone to college, you might have ended up as a podcast host. So, you never can tell where life is going to lead you.
it's so true.
But for now, then I know where I want it to lead me.
I am thirsty.
Good, man. I am too. Let's drink.
All
what are
right.
you guys getting into tonight? Ben, why don't you kick us off?
So,
Hey, Caitlin, why don't you kick us off? She's not shy. She's like, I'm drinking. She's not drinking, guys. She's drinking.
She's drinking.
She's on 10 acres in Goldendale. She's
Quarantine life, you know?
Yeah, man. What
Can't
you got
help
there? Oh, you got one of my favorite breweries, actually.
Is it?
What was it?
It
me
says
see it.
ridiculously tasty. Little
A full sale. Oh, yeah. Solid.
I found it in the fridge. Got it from Grandpa's store. Golden.
Perfect.
Golden.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Well, Jonathan, I poured myself what I got from Taps. I had myself a Melvin IPA, brother.
Nice. That's good.
One of my favorites.
I saw you pop open a big old can there, Mr. Canope. What do you got there, my friend?
Did not wait. I had to consume some liquid, and I picked up some Brothers Cascadia Hellas Lager.
Nice. That's what Peroso was drinking on episode 2 of the Bob Happy Hour, as I recall.
It's good.
Well, I'm continuing along from Friday. I haven't poured it yet because if I'd have poured it when I first sat down, it'd have been gone already. So I figured. So I have got myself from the Player's Handbook IPA series, the Druid Tropical Milkshake Hazy IPA from our friends at Lewitt when I stopped over there on Friday.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Beautiful. And of course, showing off my new Lewitt glass, of course.
Nice. Prost.
Oh.
Tink. Tink.
Sorry, I had started drinking and didn't prost, so I was trying to prost before I swallowed. That didn't go good at all. That'll be a fun one to watch on the playback.
So, Caitlin.
Yes.
How are things going ever since the quarantine has set in? How are you doing? How are spirits?
They're great. I mean, I think in the beginning there was a lot of this, right? Leading up to it, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty exhausted, business owner / taking care of clients, constantly creating, constantly going. I love what I do. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But leading up to the whole shebang, I was ready to take a little pause. So I embraced it. And at the moment that we did close, it was hard. It was kind of heartbreaking. Like, okay, this is it. It becomes really real. But all in all, it's been really good. We've taken a pause physically by closing down In Light, with the exception of our doctor. So Dr. Kate is still operating and still seeing patients for IV medicine, which is huge for the immune system, keeping her people going. And behind the scenes, Edna and I are still able to function with certain clients because we do offer hyperbaric chamber sales and rentals, as well as light system sales and rentals. So doing that behind the scenes. But then all the other business things of keeping, cash flow going and whatnot. We have applied for the loan and the Payroll Protection Act and everything, just to keep it going, and trust in the faith too, just having faith that we will get out of this, and using this time to kind of recreate and get ready to relaunch again. So
what things have you, I like to ask this I've asked this since the beginning, we've been doing this, but what things have you learned so far that you might apply to when the quarantine is over? What things have you learned? And anyway, it could be just from your personal life, your business life. Have you learned anything that you can apply to your business later?
Gosh, that's a good question. I don't know in particular. I mean, I feel like I learn every day with what we do. There's so many things, and there's so many angles. I feel like I'm swinging from all the branches, like, I'm not gonna lie. But for me personally, is to take more downtime. Truly, like, I did not realize how exhausted I was until I forced myself into this, quarantine mode, because I don't do it. I've been working 6 days a week, never off, always on. And that's not, like, I preach to my clients, like, you need that downtime to heal, right? So it's a little oxymoron. Like, you take care of yourself. So that's a huge one personally. And it's okay. You want to take that downtime to be okay.
I wonder if that's something that other business owners will have found as well. I mean, obviously, it's very scary and it's uncertain, but a lot of business owners talk about the burnout, and they talk about how they're afraid to even leave their business even for 1 day or 1 minute, in the hands of their employees, because God, what'll happen? I wonder, and maybe you can speak to this. I mean, obviously your business isn't really running now, but does it give you a different perspective that, listen, my business will be fine for a day or for a week, so I can take some time off for myself, and leave it in the hands of the people that I've hired. Do you feel like this has given you a little new perspective to be able to do that when you're back under some normal circumstances?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like taking just that day or two off, you're going to come back that much more powerful, right? Because you can't function in burnout. You have to fill your cup up. You have to fill your tank up, and you have to recharge. That's the only time that we can heal and be our best selves. So absolutely, I think that's a big one. And I've done a lot of just thinking, how I want to show up differently with my clients and be more of a resource for natural healing. Like, I feel like I offer a lot, but I've not been offering a lot of one-on-one time. I've been working in the business, trying to figure out how it's going to work. But how Edna and I both started was, we have a passion for natural healing, and we have a passion for helping people and inspiring them to be their own healer, to tap into their own healing. And then you get caught up in the day-to-day business stuff, and you wonder, what am I even doing? Like, do I love what I do? Am I passionate? Am I doing the right thing? And then it's when I go back and I'm working one-on-one with people, that's when I fill my cup up. And so me being able to take this step back in quarantine and to really look at the big picture, to know what I want to do, what I want to help inspire in others. And I've thought about, other entrepreneurs, how to stay healthy, just like simple tips and tricks and reminders, and just being supportive in that way too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
How do you think you'll find that balance? Because I mean, that is certainly something all of us battle, no matter if you're a business owner or if you just have a regular corporate job. I mean, there's always things that you don't like to do. But how do you find that balance so that you can spend your day, the most of your day, doing the thing that you love to do versus the things that either you're not good at or don't enjoy? How do you what advice would you give for other business owners, or how will you try to help yourself find that balance on the other side of this?
I always say build your tribe and lean on them, because we all go in, us entrepreneurs, you can go into business and realize you love what you do, and then all of a sudden you've got all these other things that are weighing on you that you might not be good at. You're not passionate about it. You keep putting it off. Like, for example, I could not get my microphone to work on Zoom for the longest time, and I don't have the desire to figure it out. So I called Jason Knope. Like, buddy,
This guy?
I need you. So I leaned on him because I know he's the expert. So just being able to lean on people that like and trust, right? And they can help you out with that, so that you can do the things you like to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure glad we're not live. I would hate for people to hear anybody call Knope an expert on anything in any sort of live forum. I can edit that out in post, so that's lucky.
That's okay. You always got me.
What you were saying there, it kind of brought me back to you guys, who we had on Friday, Rachel, when she talked about attention economy and making the most of your time, but at the same time being truthful to yourself, and what you're saying there, it's like you were reflecting on what you were doing. You were working your butt off, Caitlin, and you thought you were doing the right thing. And then when you stopped and you realized, it's like, wait a minute, but my true passion is actually the one-on-one. That's what fills me up. And so hearing you say that, it's like, I get that. Like, I get it. I thought forever being a business owner was, like Kaylor said earlier, I got to be there all the time. I got to be the support. I have to drop what I'm doing. I have to watch my child, the business all the time. But at some point, you're going to have to let that baby walk. Otherwise, it won't grow.
Yeah.
And so what you're doing right now is you're kind of like in that period of, all right, you can walk. Go walk.
I love you. I'm here for you.
Exactly.
I want to raise you. I want to see you grow and, transpire into something amazing, but you can't let it consume you.
Right.
And it's easy to do.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's going to be better for you and your business.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lessons.
Lessons.
Every day. You learn something new. Yeah.
For sure.
Any luck getting us into the Facebook Live, or is it still just spinning?
Still spinning, man.
Oh, man.
That is a bummer. I'm unhappy about that.
Yeah.
But we've got beer, and we've got Caitlin here, so.
We got beer, and
And
Caitlin is here. And Knope was a poet, and he didn't know it.
Oh, I knew it.
But his feet show it. They're Longfellows.
Why would it be spinning like that? I've never seen it.
Too much.
Too many traffic.
people.
Too much traffic.
Too many
The door's only so big, and
Yeah.
so Caitlin, how long have you been in business? How long has In Light been around?
going on 7 years. It might even be 7.5. I don't know. We started, so when Edna and I went into business together, 2013, just doing light therapy. We were In Light for Life. That was our name. And then about, I'd say, just under a year later, we came across hyperbaric oxygen therapy. ended up opening up our brick and mortar, and then we became In Light Hypebarics. So that was 6 years ago.
So are those the two primary modalities that you guys offer? I mean, is that what drives your business, the infrared therapy and the hyperbaric oxygen?
Yep. Those are
So maybe for the benefit of our listeners who don't know, maybe just real high level, talk about what is infrared and what is hyperbaric oxygen and what are the benefits to your patients for both of those?
Yeah, so infrared light therapy is a light wave that is actually, so when you take the full light spectrum that the sun creates for us, speaking of sunshine, that's why I love it, and you've got 3 light waves that are very powerful, that have been the most highly effective, most researched, shown to be the most beneficial, is infrared, red, and blue. And so light therapy in general, it helps the body to produce cellular energy. So to get technical, it's ATP in the mitochondria. So more energy for your body to function and thrive optimally. So I consider it like a primal nutrient. You know, it's something that we need for everyday life. So when we are deprived of sun, people think, oh, you know, my vitamin D levels are low, I'm not doing well. You kind of get that seasonal affective disorder going on. And that's a part of it, but it's not everything. So we do rely on light for survival. So light therapy is amazing. It also helps the body to increase circulation and reduce pain and inflammation. So when you can do those 3 things, it stimulates your body to heal itself naturally. It's also been shown to heal 40% faster. You have injury, whether it's acute or chronic. It's great for the immune system. It's great to just relax your whole central nervous system, helps with sleep, helps with everything. I say that it helps with everything only because all it's doing is promoting your body to heal itself on its own, right? Like your body is very smart. You can promote all of that through energy. So that's light therapy.
So Ben and Canope, you both have done that. Why don't you talk about your experience? One of you or both of you talk about your experience with that.
I've had the
You guys aren't, because you guys are relatively healthy individuals, but you still went in and you got this done. How did that make you guys feel?
Well, I can say the light therapy is extremely relaxing. Once I put on the mask and then the pad light went across my chest or my back as well, within a few minutes, I was completely relaxed. I felt like I was sitting on a beach, sun shining on me, taking a nap and out. And I did that in a hyperbaric chamber one day as well, and I felt great afterwards. It's amazing how much you don't realize that here in the Northwest, we don't get the sun that we really need. And having those things on was fantastic. I wrapped one on my ankle at one point in time the first time I tried it, and it helped with some pain I had in my ankle as well from an injury. And yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I need to do it more often, actually. So.
Yeah, the way I recently I could have used it, Caitlin, because I have allergies, you know, and I had a migraine yesterday and today, and so I relate it to when I put it on my head, because you put it on my head, Caitlin, and it goes around, and it's like a big helmet thing. You put it on, and the lights go on.
Yeah.
And it reminds you. Kaylor, it's like, have you ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
God, a long time ago.
Okay, at the very end, when he realized, you know, he's going through the wormhole, whatever, the black hole, whatever it was, those lights are coming at you. It reminded me of that, like, instantly. But the biggest thing was that, okay, I'm going to be here for half an hour. I didn't realize, like, 2 days later, it was still working. Because like Caitlin said, your body is adapting. It's like, oh, this is what this is for. This is what these lights are going to be for. And I want to focus it on my head, my eyes, even my ears, because I get so congested that the pressure is unbelievable. But it's like it's better than taking medicine, because the medicine only relieves the pressure for so long. The lights with consistent use, can last for days without having an episode.
Yeah, and I think naturally, like as a society, we don't realize how stressed out our body is. We get in that fight or flight mode, and it's you're constantly go, go, go until you take the time to relax. That's part of it too. You know, you're just kind of soaking into that downtime, and with the therapeutic results of the lights, you can't beat it. You know, we naturally we absorb light through our skin and our eyes, and so that's kind of the purpose of the lights, to just really kickstart the body's natural healing ability. It's pretty powerful. And then baric oxygen is totally different. I'm gonna move this.
You know what you also said that I like is you always say, Caitlin, you're like, if you break your leg, you gotta go to the doctor. Okay, you gotta go to the doctor. I'm not for that type of therapy. I'm for after you break your leg and you want it to heal.
Medicine, yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
So kind of talk about that, where it's not you're not replacing the traditional I break my leg. You're just helping providing sustainability to your body or something. You say it better than I do.
Well, it's like increasing your nutrition, right? So increasing your body's natural healing ability. There's a time and place for all kind of medicine practices, you know, and I'll never take away from that. But it can't help everything. You know, it can help cover up symptoms. You have pain medication that can help numb your pain, you know, while you're going through whatever you're going through. But if you're just going to sit at home and rely on your body to heal itself, you want to initiate that healing response by giving your body energy through primal nutrients. And I do feel like naturally we don't think about, you know, we eat really good food, but we don't think about, okay, light, oxygen, therapeutic movement, things like that are so important as well. And so that's kind of been the focus of In Light, and our mission is it's as simple as that, you know. And then going into oxygen itself, we don't realize how important oxygen is until when? Think about
we
it.
don't have it.
Yeah. So it's
Right.
gone.
So you lose, you know, you lose oxygen if you are underwater, you can't breathe, you're suffocating, and then that's when you freak out. But we take it for granted, and we don't realize that, well, maybe our cells are struggling. You know, maybe we're deficient in oxygen in other ways, not necessarily in our lungs, but in our bloodstream and down to the cellular level. If you've got extra inflammation, a new injury, old injury, chronic disease, aging, your body's going to be deprived of oxygen at some level. And so hyperbaric oxygen, the magic in that is when you breathe in ambient air that's pressurized, your body naturally absorbs more oxygen into the fluid part of your plasma. So the blood, the plasma part flows into that, and then you can get oxygen to different areas that might be deprived of it. So it's pretty powerful.
So I feel like I saw you post an article this week about hyperbaric oxygen potentially being a therapy solution for the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
A, why is that? And B, why do you think that people aren't talking about it? Why aren't medical professionals looking at this as a therapy for this particular disease?
I cannot speak to the other people that may not be looking into it. Again, it's crazy. So hyperbaric oxygen has been around for over 350 years, like the actual science, but it hasn't been recognized and utilized in mainstream medicine. You know, I think more and more it's really starting to, you know, people are starting to wake up to it. It's getting the recognition. But as far as COVID-19, in general, hyperbaric is amazing for the immune system. And that's something that I personally struggled with for a long time, was compromised immune system, why I got into natural healing. And when I first started doing hyperbaric oxygen, I did not get sick. I used to get sick all the time. Like, I was the person that got the flu, got the cold when it wasn't even going around. And I think I stayed healthy for over 18 months with like no fever, no cold, no nothing. And so it helps to increase your body's natural defenses. So with COVID-19, not only is it going to help to prevent and create a stronger immune system, but the virus itself, from what I understand, is it's very different in the sense that it's actually creating compromised oxygen absorption. So your tissues and organs are struggling with absorbing oxygen that you would normally breathe in. And so people are suffering when they don't even have any respiratory or breathing difficulties. Just the organs are kind of shutting down quicker without having that, you know, that response. Does that make sense? So it's a very unique virus, and there are a lot of studies that are beginning in other countries. So they've been treating patients with COVID-19 in China, I think Vietnam, I've seen Spain and Italy. They're starting to utilize it. And they're also finding that the ventilators might be more harmful than good, which is really unfortunate because they're using a lot right now. And I think that the problem is it's creating more pressure in the lungs. And so any kind of oxygen that's coming in is not absorbing.
Man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Pretty crazy. And so I'm getting a lot of my information from a chiropractor on the East Coast named Dr. Saunders. If anyone's interested, definitely look him up. He's putting a lot of YouTube videos out explaining how hyperbaric oxygen is beneficial for the virus, and then, you know, other ways to really help it. It's hard. It's so hard because it's like I want to put that information out there, but we aren't equipped to help people with the virus right now either, right?
That goes back to what we were saying before, you know, you got to get treated. If you have it, if you can't breathe, if your lungs are full of fluid,
yeah,
you're not the answer at that point.
Yeah, but ultimately, as a society and as a medical healthcare system, how do we start integrating these different types of therapies together into the more mainstream? I think that's the larger question. Of course, we could argue that, and people are arguing that, I'm sure, every single day of your life. You know, how do we do that? And you know, that would be an interesting conversation to have you back on, to talk about, you know, what are some ways that you fight that fight, or, you know, how do we as a society start to try to integrate some of these therapies into the mainstream current healthcare system? Because I can't even imagine the challenge that you face every day in your business.
Right, because we don't take insurance, and so it's out of pocket for people, and it's hard, you know. You have to stay in business, and you want this therapy to be available for everybody. But honestly, it's talking about it, it's experiencing it, and it's constantly going to your healthcare insurance, to your doctors, bringing it up, asking about it, just being inquisitive, because then it's going to promote those other resources to look into it. And it is happening more and more. We've had a couple MDs from hospitals actually contact us. We had a doctor that specializes in Crohn's disease reach out, and he's starting to recommend his patients to see us, which is huge. I mean, that was big, because with hyperbaric oxygen, it's been in the hospitals, but it's only covered for 14 different diagnoses. And those diagnoses are like life or death situations. So it's, people can't get in, you know, even if they want to, and that's where they have to start seeking out the private clinics, which is what we are. And some people can do it and some can't. So
what's the downside? Is there any side effects? Is there any, I mean, if a relatively healthy person comes in and takes some of these therapies, I mean, is there any downside?
No, it's very safe. Again, we practice mild hyperbaric oxygen, and then just past that, the deepest pressure that we would take somebody to in our clinic is about 30 feet. So the mild chambers will take you to 9 feet below sea level. So that's 1.3 ATA. And then the hard chill chamber, we actually added that in June. And that one we can dose from about 9 feet under sea level to 30. Actually, we could go all the way to 66, but there's no need, you know? So I always tell people the magic is in the pressure. That's what it's all about, is breathing in ambient air. You're oxygenating your system, promoting your body's natural healing ability. But what studies are finding is that mild hyperbaric could be even more beneficial, and it's the safest and most convenient for
That's
hyperbaric.
awesome.
Very
Mhm.
cool.
So
Right.
we got the physical part. Talk about the mental health angle of it. How does light therapy help with the mental health?
Well, there's a lot to it. I mean, when you say mental health, that covers a whole host of things,
Mhm.
right?
What's the most common? Is it anxiety? Is it depression?
Okay.
Is that what you see most of?
We see a lot of that, and you know, that could be a chemical imbalance. It could be lack of sunshine, lack of sunlight. It could be from a traumatic brain injury that some people don't even realize they've had in their life. Concussions happen, and you know, some
Mm.
people don't get diagnosed. So it honestly, at the end of the day, it's about getting blood flow and oxygen to the brain, whether it's emotional or physical. And it's such a complex thing. Like when you talked about migraines today, that you've had, you know, you're dealing with a migraine. And when people ask me, could this help with my migraines? Could, yeah. I'm not gonna like give you any promises because I don't know what's causing that physical imbalance, right?
Mhm.
So I've had clients who begin using light therapy, migraines are gone. Sometimes their migraines are brought on by stress. Again, lack of sunlight. You know, we're deprived, we don't realize it. My business partner, Edna, she actually suffered with over 30 years of chronic migraines. She would get them once a week, constantly. And when they were bad, she had to rely on medication. She ended up having an accident where she is the reason we exist, by the way, because we have tested all of our products with all of her injuries. And she actually accidentally, I know, it's crazy. I just roll my eyes at her. I call her my tornado. She shocked herself with a 220 volt power supply when she was plugging in her dryer, and it wasn't like the power supply wasn't grounded. And so the shock went all the way through her, damaged the nerves in her arm, changed the pattern of her migraines, and she was a mess. And this was about a year, little less than a year, when her and I went into business together. So that's what promoted us to get into hyperbaric oxygen, was her migraines. And within about 20 sessions, her migraines were completely gone. Done.
Wow.
She doesn't get pressure in her head anymore or anything. And all it was getting oxygen into her brain.
Wow.
And think about how many people deal with migraines or just brain issues, mental health, and, you know, and I couldn't sit here and tell you all the science behind it. You know, a lot of people could probably break it down way better than I could, but, you know, we're just deprived with our primal nutrients. We don't realize it. And it's very
Yeah.
simple.
I had a guy I used to work with years ago that he was hungover one day and had a bad headache. And he just happened to work in a shop that did welding, and they had a mask hooked up to their oxygen chamber, up to their oxygen container. And he breathed in some oxygen. His headache went away. And from then he realized his mom suffered from migraines, and so he got her some oxygen and tried that, and it went away. So for me, the whole idea of going to an oxygen chamber, hyperbaric chamber, for migraines is a no-brainer. Yeah. Once I heard that story, this was years ago, and then when I met Caitlin and I saw that they had, you know, hyperbaric oxygen, to me it was immediate. Anybody I know of that I can think of that has migraines, I'm going to definitely get them in touch with you. It seems like obvious thing to do. So as a hyperbaric community, I assume you belong to a community, right? Of people who do hyperbaric oxygen. Is there some sort of, are you guys getting together and discussing a way that you might be able to help people with COVID potentially? Or is that something that you guys are just kind of?
That hasn't happened yet. I mean, I would love for it to happen. And I think once we kind of come out of this, we'll be able to have more of a game plan. And I think that's really important to be more prepared in the future. There is, like I said, Dr. Saunders on the East Coast. He has mentioned a few times how to be available for this kind of, pandemic. I don't know what the answer is right now. What I can say is for people that are at home, you can have a chamber in your own home. And that's what's so powerful, just to know that, and a lot of people will plan for their future, build their home up into retirement, but they don't necessarily think about the health aspect of it. What could I have available at home as I age or working on my immune system? So that option is there too. But in a clinic setting, I would love to be open and available. What's crazy though is with like all of my clients and all the people that we're connected to, I haven't come across anybody with COVID yet, which is wild, but I haven't had a need. We haven't seen a need for it in our community. So, I don't know if that answers your question, but we do have an international community of hyperbaric clinics and professions and doctors and whatnot, but I haven't heard from them regarding that specifically.
Well, Caitlin, I mean, we absolutely love what you're doing. We wish you all the best of luck on the other side of this. Hopefully we can get you open back up and serving our wonderful Vancouver community again very soon. If people want to find out more about In Light Hypebarics and your business, where would you like people to go?
Well, right now our URL, our website is inlightlife.com. We have a Facebook page, In Light Hyperbarics. We have Instagram. We're pretty active on social media. So just looking up In Light Hyperbarics, and yeah, we're easy to find.
Awesome. And we'll connect to all of those links in the show notes and the blog post for sure.
Cool. Thanks
Nope.
for guys.
Yes.
Where can people find business over beer?
They can find our website at bizoverbeer.com, bizoverbeer.com. And there they can find all of our stuff. They can find links to our different social media handles. They can find our episodes, blog posts. And we are doing every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to be doing this until we can get back to our normal. So, join us if we can get online on Facebook Live or just download our episodes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Caitlin, love you, girl. You are awesome.
Love you.
I can't wait to get you back on in person because we will have a lot more in-depth conversation about everything.
Podcast that we were supposed to do in March before
I know.
happened.
We will do it. I promise. I promise. Kaylor, Canope, everybody who wasn't live but are listening to it right now, we love you. Can't wait to see everybody again.
Peace.
Deuces.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Good night.
When we post this onto Facebook, we should also let people know, ask questions if you have questions. We can always answer them later as well.
That's true.
Night, guys. Prost.
Cheers.
Good night.
Well,
Business Over Beer reminds you to always drink responsibly. Our theme song is Alley Cat by Soul Shifters. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the next Business Over Beer Happy Hour.
until then, we just drink.
Okay.